energy of the youth is the heartbeat of the nation. Those are words of one celebrated icon and Pan-African, Kwame Nkrumah. A lot of things are going on in the country. We have had a lot, especially in the politics of the country here, Uganda. We know that ahead of the 2026 general elections, parties are gearing up for those elections by first of all organizing themselves internally in their parties. We've seen the Democratic Party holding the party structure elections, and Norbert Mao has once again been elected for the fourth time into office as the president of that party. We've had the National Unity Platform also in this week having the party members or leader hopefuls picking forms of interest from the party headquarters in Makerere, Kavule. We've also seen the National Resistance Movement having its members or leader hopefuls also picking forms of interest from their headquarters of the NRM. So these are all preparations for the general elections come 2026, which is just a few months from now. This is the special chat with JJ, and I am your host, Jacob Junior Mungesi. Call me JJ. Now today, I happen to host one of the young leaders, very vocal, as we shall see, but of course, the kind of vocability also depends on how grounded maybe he is, not just in his area, but of course, as also recognized by the nation. He is somebody who is not strange in the politics because he has been there, and want to talk to him today and want to know how sustainable youths can be in the politics of the nation, how possibly they can engage themselves to ensure that their voices are heard. Mr. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Well, to our dear viewers, my name is Maseruka Robert. Maseruka Robert, I'm the 89th Guild President of Makerere University. I'm the General Secretary of the National Unity Platform, Mukono District, and as well an MP intend of Mukono South 2026. Happy to be here.
Wow, thank you, Maseruka, for honoring the invitation.
Sure.
Now, just as he has introduced himself, Maseruka you happen to be somebody a leader coming from one of Africa's greatest institutions, if I may say, because Makerere is indeed a great institution, and heading such an institution gives you probably a higher hand of engaging in the politics of also the nation. As we've seen in the August House, many of the people there are products of the institution. Sure. Tell us, how do you make it to ensure that even after the institutional politics, you still come out and still make it in the national politics?
Well, I think first of all we need to realize how important it is to be groomed from the basis of I've been a Guild President of Makerere University, I've been a Member of Parliament OGRC for School of Languages, Literature and Communication, and so I think it is from that background that I feel institutions have said that one becomes a leader. Before one becomes a leader, probably must have been seen being a leader. We look at, I think that is the reason as to why we would be having these other electoral positions in even primary schools. Why would one be a class monitor? Why would one be a mess prefect? Why would one be a chapel prefect or head boy? I think these institutions make a groundwork for what one will become. And I think that has shaped what we are today. Yeah.
Wow. So, Maseruka, you're eyeing for a seat in the August House. And one would say, why has he jumped or skipped some levels from institutional presidency here at Makerere, and the moment he's getting into the national politics, he's coming for a very big seat as that of a member of parliament? Why not first of all going maybe for councillor, Lord Councillor, or maybe mayor, something like that, and then you just want the member of parliament seat? Do you think people will take you serious?
Well, I think first of all people need to understand what it means to be a Guild President of Makerere University. To one extent, we actually take it that Makerere University is Uganda summarized. After being Guild President, being a councillor should be by choice. but actually it comes with evidence that you have been grounded. You can't be leading over 60,000 people in a university and then come out only to lead around 2,000. You have probably youth leader at a village level. I think if some of us, there are two types of how leaders probably could be grounded in Uganda. If some are grounded through institutional politics, others are grounded through local politics. We are having someone that has become a Lord Councillor, LC3 chairperson, mayor, and then become a member of parliament. But the fact that you have also gone through the levels of, you know, your education, you being a leader on the different stages, I think it also places you somewhere. The fact that I'm coming from the institution doesn't mean I have to go back to LC1, but at least I think Makerere University has been shaping the politics, the economy of this country, and also the social life of the country we are proud of today, called Uganda. And so what I think, having led the biggest university, the moment I have the capacity and the voice to lead the people, and I know the challenges of the home district where I'm coming from, I think that puts a pedestal that if I can vie for this position, very few of members of parliament have actually gone to Makerere University or actually become guild president. Or some of them, the qualification is becoming, as long as you have an S6 paper. But my dear, I've become a guild president. I'm a degree holder of Bachelor's of Journalism and Communication. Not because now I'm feeling so much worth to be in parliament, but I think it gives me the liberty to get where I feel my voice will be best heard and the voice of the people.
Oh, someone would say that you're coming from a position where you've been leading on the intellect, intellectuals only,
yes,
at the hill. And now you're coming into that space where the people you're leading, some have been to school, some have not been to school, and that presents different dynamics of leadership.
Yes.
So one would say, don't you think you comparing the number of people that you've been leading at Makerere, or that you led at Makerere, to the one that you're leading, the one here in the constituency, Mukono South?
Yes,
yeah?
Mukono South.
Mukono South, that is full of different people. It could be different age brackets, it could be different social classes, and also could be people of different educational levels. Isn't it treasonous to compare the two populations?
Well, I think first of all that comes out with the characteristics of what a leader should be. I think one is not only positioned that just because I'm a guild president of Makerere University and so I should be leading the intellect alone. I think if you manage to lead the intellectuals, like we say Makerere University, a hill of intellectuals, I think you must actually be much more proven when you're with people that are not to that standard. In the constituency, I have fishermen, fishermen and fisherwomen. In the constituency, I have farmers. In the constituency, I have those that have gone to university. In the constituency, I have students. In the constituency, we have different types of people. But it comes also with an understanding that as long as you are their leader, now you need to bring them all together and make one statement. I think that is the most important thing. But even in Makerere University, even when we call it a hill of intellectuals, I had people that were in the agriculture sector. I have people that were in the fishing sector, and people that were in the economic sector. Yeah. And so I think this even brings us closer to the people, not to think from a world that have been guild president, so I must be leading intellectuals, but coming down to the groundwork and looking at the lives of the people and those that you are willing actually to make a voice to, and then thereafter make a statement of whether you are ready to lead such kind of people that are in that state or not. Yes.
Well, you are coming from an age bracket of people that make the highest percentage of this nation's population.
Yes.
And those are the youth. But also, what somebody would argue that youths, if I may quote some of the voices that come out of the people or the populations, youths are some of the people that are not being taken serious, especially in the politics of this country. Do you think there is a way that as youths maybe they can come out, because now individually your testimony maybe that you can use, you are an example that you can use maybe to inspire or motivate somebody else. Do you think people will have a chance, or youths have an opportunity to change the way people perceive their leadership and their game of play in the politics of the country?
Well, I think part of the reason that's why people say that is because you could find older people. And when you find them aged, I think one of the things is that probably they might be having a youth somewhere at their age. And so part of it cannot be blamed on the youth, it should be blamed on their grooming. They didn't groom their youth so well. That is one. But I think also the second point is in the year of 1980s, we had youths that got to understand the problems of the country. Yeah? General Museveni, General Kahindo Tafire, the Sam Kutesas sat down and looked at the socio-political and economic politics of the country, and they knew that in the next 40 years they could not be favored by how the country was run. They got serious, got up, got arms, and then got ready to go to the bush and fight for what they thought this country should be. We are not any different when the country is going into the dust and we are just looking on. Just like them, so we are. They were in the age of, I think it was General Museveni that was the oldest, he was in his 30s. But look at the Kahindo Tafires, General Kahindo Tafire. You're going to look at him that was they were in their 20, 25s and so on. And they got to realize the problems of the country, went to the bush and fought. We are not any much different. If our years took place in bringing General Museveni and his government today, I think our years are still responsible for bringing the change that we want to see, probably also taking him away as being the president and putting the president that we feel will front this country, looking at it from how it is going to be in the next 40 years.
Well, we've had voices also from the people, especially of recent, when I will use the Uganda word that they're always calling such people the abebitiwa, the intellectuals who want to be called abebitiwa, and the other things that they do that people, or the common people, do not expect of them. And I want to quote the words of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. He said that he made an argument and said that if character is not trained, then the acquisition of knowledge alone may prove injurious. And the people that you are coming into right now seeking for votes are people who seem to be tired of intellectuals. They seem not to be wanting people that are much educated. And now when they also see a youth who is also highly educated, like I said, you're coming from the hill, many people see Makerere sometimes. I'm not trying to downplay some universities, but when you talk of a university, the first thing that comes to their heads is Makerere. When you talk of any honorable person in the parliament, the first thing that comes to their head is Makerere. So you're coming to a space where people feel the intellectuals have not done enough. And I don't know how you as an individual or as part of the youths you feel you can change the narrative and make the people believe that you are here to really do work for them.
Well, I think the people that now we are talking about came at a time when also the sitting president right now was energetic and also had the vigor to stand out and do very many things. I think we are coming out, the fact that one, we are intellectuals, that is one, but also are built in character and respect. We are coming into a time where we need change, but also he who was a youth then as a president now is in his evening. And so I think we have more chances of doing what they didn't do, but also learning from them so that we can push the work forward. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you come from the National Unity Platform Party, and we've seen very many youths who are part of these political parties. Either some are there because of maybe their own personal gains or things that they would want, personal goals that they are looking at, or maybe they are really following the ideologies as per their beliefs in those parties. You come from a party that is in the opposition.
Yes.
And many of you have used those parties to go through in those institutions that you've been leading. For example, you led Makerere, but you came on the NUP ticket.
Yes.
I just saw yesterday your colleague, Dangote, who was also a member of the NUP, picking forms from the National Resistance Movement. Now, I want to know, how do you ensure that you avoid going back to what you fought against?
Well, yes, I think first of all, it is very important for us to understand that we are coming from a point where youth of this generation have been put to a standard, number one, not recognized.
Yeah.
Yeah? And so wherever they are, the number one, they could be looking for recognition. It is in Uganda where you find that the Minister of Youths and Children is a 48-year, 49-old-year gentleman. And so that is very alarming. But also, I think when we are chasing something, we need to understand that at the end of the day, our visions, our dreams should be to that extent that they cannot be bought. We are trying to, chase a country that we want to see even tomorrow. But if we cannot do that now and prove to the people that yes, we can, they may not as well trust us. We need to do that now. We need to be seen serious even in the littlest of things. And so I think it is very important as youths, and this comes as an advice, that for the visions and the dreams we have should never be sold. No amount of money should buy what you want to see your country become. And I think that could be one point of being a patriotic citizen of the country. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Otherwise, when you forget what you want to see this country become, you can easily become a sellout and go to any other people, any other country, any other group that probably could not be having the same hunger that you have for what you want this country to be. Yeah.
Well, I see, and from what you've just said, this is what I also want to know, because we are in a country where the politics of the nation seems to be playing within the same cycle. We are seeing, you see the same faces, like somebody was saying that even when I vote 2026, I might vote a different person, but may not change anything. I'll still have the same president. In my constituency, I may still have the same MP even when I vote a different person. So it seems it's a politics that is within the same cycle, seeing the same faces, same age brackets, and things of that kind, same, everything, same. And now you're coming out as a youth and you're saying this is what you want to dismantle. You want to dismantle something that already seems to be playing. And many of the people in the opposition seem to be coming and using the same thing. They're saying we are tired of Museveni, we are tired of so and so. Why don't you present your ideas, and you think talking of same faces will change anything in the country?
Well, presenting new ideas, the new ideas are there. The new ideas are there. The new thoughts of what this country can be are all there. But we cannot, put old wine in new bottles. Old wine in new bottles still remains old wine. And I think bringing new ideas for a government that has spent over 40 years, we have seen very many people that have suffered of their new ideas. You look at someone that, like Norbert Mao, you thought he would make a change. And looking at all these people from that perspective, we feel, no, we cannot now waste our new ideas therein. We need to create something that is new. Challenging the status quo is okay as long as it is in for the people, and challenging literacy, challenging the way people receive their, get their health care, challenging poverty, challenging all these things. If the government has proven that for the last 40 years it has failed, you cannot present it with new ideas, because trust me, on that journey, before it made 20 years, there were new people on board that were trying to bring these new ideas, and trust me, they didn't work. I have no trust whatsoever that a government that has seen me being born, can take my ideas as being truthful, comparing to the ones that they have been with or grown with since the times they were with, since the time of the bush. The people they were with in the bush, it doesn't mean that those people never had new ideas. And they had a good 10 points of where they wanted this country to be, but where is it? And so I think if their ideas have not worked for the last 40 years, how would you trust that yours who has just got into the government, you're going to bring your new ideas and they embrace them, yet theirs has also failed them in this country for the last 40 years. So I think, yes, we need something new for the people, we need something new as a government, we need something new for the healthcare, something new for the education, and this is what we feel this country should be having for the next 30 to 40 years, because I mean, this government may not exist for the next even 20 years, Yes.
Well, I and you just agreed here that this country's population is highly made of the youth population. And I would want to know how best the youths can be made part of the national governance, be part of the politics, be part of the decision making, and maybe such that at the end of the day they can also get to benefit from the country, to benefit from the governance.
Sure. I think youth need to understand that there is no time whatsoever in this country where old people will make a party and sit us down that please, we the old people, we are getting out of these spaces such that you the youths may come. That party may never be. Omukolo teguliyo. Abantu abakulu gwe bagenda okukola bakole embagambu fe bannabyabufuzi abakulu tugenda kufuluma bamuyingire. It is not there. And so youth need to understand that we fight for these spaces. Yes. This space should be fought for. We need to prove ourselves that yes, we can, such that the generations, or we may pull the attention of the masses to understand that for the things that we hold dear, those are so precious and we want them to happen. And the change that we seek for, we are already what we want to see. We are the change that we want to see. People need to see that in us. But that is through fighting for the spaces. No one will ever just leave for you to just come and take over the positions. This is not some kind of a family that I'm dying such that you become a heir. No. We fight for the spaces, and they also need to, it is the only way we can make them realize that probably their time is done, is by fulfilling, is by getting the positions they thought they would actually spend in for the rest of their years.
Well, we've had the politics of rallies, we've had the politics of slogans before. You hear one Uganda, one people, you hear slogans of people power and so forth. And of recent now we have the politics of tweets. People tweeting seniors, tweeting generals, tweeting politicians and so forth. What should a youth expect that is going to be new in this general election that we are heading to in 2026?
Yeah, I think as the country goes by, as time goes by, there are very many things that come to change. And then people used to fight using guns. Now it is no longer there. You're going to find that if you tweet, I reply you with a tweet. And so people need to understand that it is no longer a gun warfare and so on. It is an information warfare. It is an information war. Yeah. Yes. And so everyone is using their information either in form of truth, either in form of propaganda, either in form of misinformation, but as long as they fulfill what they want to have. And I think youth needs to, this kind of system of the information warfare is actually a ground for youth to take on these positions, because there are very few old people that are good and so smart and outgoing on the internet. You get the point. These are youths. You find them on computers, on the internet, identifying new apps that can be used, opening up new, new links of anything. So I think youths need to use this opportunity where they cannot access guns. At least they can access information and they can understand what to use this information for. So yes, you should be prepared. We are getting in 2026, but wherever you are, whether you're a comedian, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a doctor, you can use this profession of yours to the best way of how to represent how revolutionary your idea can be and what you want to see in the next country. And this will change a person out there. A teacher's opinion may change a student. A doctor's opinion may change a patient. And so I think at the end of the day, we need to use these different platforms of the internet to spread out the information. And because when you look at how many people are holding smartphones and holding laptops or computers, you're going to find that the number of the youth outmatches that of the old people. And I think we need to use this to the best of our advantage.
It is true the youth outmatch the number of the old people that you're talking about. And it is those same old people in course that you are talking about that still maybe are worried that if they leave the thing into the hands of you people, you'll have everything disorganized and maybe you spoil the arrangements for which they have made for you as their children.
Yes.
So you should also be scared and be worried that those old people you're talking about will not allow you to take hold of.
Yeah, it is expected that when you reach in the years of 70s, you must have trained your children to take over after you. In your children, you must have identified who the leader in them is. In your children, you must have identified who is the good at banking or with economics, who is a good teacher, who is a good mobilizer. By the time you get at the age of 70, you must have realized all that because, number one, you are also expected to have mentored them to take up those positions. You cannot reach at the age of 70 and you're still running around with money because you don't want your children to see. It is an indication of a bad father in this generation. And I think people need not to fear of what we are going to be if they really trust what they have mentored us to become. And I think it is time that they hand over those machines to us, that we may take over from what they have trained us to become.
Well, talking of mentorship, somebody would say, like, we have the opposition political parties in the country, but we also have the NRM, which is in government. And somebody would say, don't you think, or you in your own view, don't you think the ruling party has not groomed enough people that can take on from they?
Yeah, in a democracy, as long as you see a political party starting to buy people, you know they are...
You mean
you know you have not groomed and mentored people, because if you had groomed and mentored, you pick when for those who like football, yeah, you go to the under-16s and pick people and bring them to the main team. You don't go around buying people from wherever as if you don't have a young kindergarten where you can pick people and groom them. The moment you see that for whichever critic comes, you just buy them, you know you have not trained and mentored people enough to carry on where you have, where you are living, the party or the organization. And I think that this government has failed. You're looking for who is vocal in the National Unity Platform, who is vocal in FDC, who is vocal in PFF, who is vocal in whichever political party, and then you start to buy them so that they may join you. They never drop their ideas. You only buy their conscience, but they know what the truth is, and I believe they cannot function to the best of their ability. Like someone you have mentored and lectured and taught from the kindergarten to bring them to the level that you want them to see.
So are you in any way seeing yourself as a candidate of buying, a candidate on sale?
I don't see myself being taken on shillings to any political party, but also I think this government for the last 40 years, you can't tell me that you don't have people in the 20s that you can that can take over you when you have been in this government for the last 40 years. You have been a president for the last 40 years, but you have not trusted anyone to take up leadership from you or leadership of the political party or anything. You still trust that it is you yourself, and I think that is very alarming.
Well, as we end this, I want to drive you straight to the current abductions that are happening, especially for the people in the opposition, and this is mostly happening on youths. From the people that I've seen being arrested, they're all under the same age bracket of youths, if I may say. Are you not scared that you are also a candidate, that even maybe from here anything, such things are happening? Are you not scared? And beyond that, you are a vocal person, that you are not just a supporter, but somebody who is actively wanting to hold a big seat in the country.
Yeah, I think that should actually just re-energize us. When you see abductions, you just need to be re-energized and knowing that actually this government has completely come to its evening. Why? These are the same things that were happening in Obote's time. Before the change comes, the government that is ruling must have proven all forms of unfairness, all forms of being dictatorial, all forms of being unfair. And this is what this government is doing. And I think at the end of the day, this should only be re-energizing us. We are not scared whatsoever, because when they take me, they will not have taken you. Probably after taking me, you also feel angry and also come and fight and looking at what this country should become. So yes, they are abducting people, they are taking everyone, they are looking at each and every vocal person and they are imprisoning them, but that should not discourage, but only re-energize us to understand that it is an evidence that this country is soon and sooner becoming liberated from the hands of the tyrants.
Well, so can we have your last word to the youth, especially those that are wanting or are looking at taking up positions?
Well, I think one word to the youths of this generation need to understand that we have a generational cause that must come to fulfillment, and that is upon you and upon me to get to a standard where we are ready to fulfill what has been put to us on a silver plate, to talk about, to challenge the status quo and also the well-being, the political, economic and social behavior that we are seeing in our country. And I think this should bring us to a standard where every youth, wherever you are, you need to involve yourself, either by voting, either by contesting. We are getting to a place where we are in the youth elections. Youth need to come out and contest. They need to participate. They need to understand that it is not only us that own, but also our grandparents and our parents that gave birth to us. They look at us as the only hope of this generation, but also putting into mind that tomorrow we are going to give birth to our children, and they will ask us the question of, Dad, where were you when this country was getting to this level? I think it is time that we may rise up and make one statement. I encourage you all to participate and not only be spectators. We need to be part of the solutions of where we need to see this country become, even in the next 40 years. That is to all the youths and getting prepared for the youth elections. Thank you so much.
Well, the question of where were you, Dad, when this happened, I have something to answer and something to show in the future. Thank you so much for joining us, Maseruka, and I hope that next time we also send an invitation, you'll be able to come and also speak to us. Now, since we are in a generation where information is very key, I must pledge to you, our dear viewer, that we shall be using this platform to bring such people to inform us. We shall be bringing people from all categories of life to come and speak to us, especially you, the youth. This is a platform for you to engage, a platform for you to bring out your ideas, but also a platform for you to decide what your future should look like based on the information that you'll be receiving from here. This has been the special chat with me, your host, Jacob Junior Mungesi. Call me JJ. Until next time, keep engaging, keep following, keep subscribing, keep liking, and keep sharing the message until it reaches whosoever you want it to reach to, or even whosoever may need this kind of information. I am Jacob Junior. Bye-bye.